Welcome to Rollin with Ray. I hope everybody had a great new year. In this episode of Rollin with Ray, you will meet a remarkable man by the name of Roy Tuscany. Roy has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Vermont. Roy had aspirations and dreams of becoming a professional world-class skier. But in 2006, he sustained a spinal cord injury as a result of a ski accident while he was training. Roy went on and created a nonprofit organization called High Fives Foundation. High Fives Foundation enables athletes to get back into their sport after they have sustained a life-threatening injury. It's my pleasure and my honor to introduce you today to Roy Tuscany, the founder of High Fives Foundation. Well, Roy, thank you for being on Rollin with Ray's podcast today.
Hey, Ray, you know what? Me and you, we got good names. We just got vowels that are different between the two of us. So I'm so pleased to be on here with you today. And I hope I don't screw it up. I feel like I might. I might say Ray or Roy at the same time. So hopefully we get it all good.
Well, we'll get it all good. Before I start off, I want to thank you and Maddie for sending me my apparel that I'm wearing today. I'm wearing a High Fives cap, a hoodie, and a shirt underneath. So I appreciate you guys sending me my apparel for today's show.
You know, if everybody looked as good as you did in that, we'd sell out unstoppably. But thank you very much for having me on here. It's an absolute honor, and looking forward to chatting with you today, sir.
Great. So, Roy, had you always dreamed of being a skier or a professional skier? Because I know that you grew up in Vermont, and then you're actually right now in Truckee, California. So had you always dreamed of becoming a professional skier?
You know, I had always wanted to become a skier, as in the term of that was my occupation. I would find many ways to make money, from coaching to working with sponsors to, incentives and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I started skiing in third grade because my mom gave me the choice in the winter to either play hockey or go skiing. And well, I weighed like 42 pounds in third grade. I was this little kid. And from Vermont, the kids that played hockey were already like 18-year-olds, like 6'2" and 180 pounds. So I picked skiing.
From my understanding is that I hear that once you're born in up north, especially up like in Canada and Vermont, that you're born with ice skates.
No, you're born in an igloo, actually. Born in an igloo.
Roy, can you actually describe how your accident occurred, and can you explain to our viewers what Mammoth Mountain is like?
Yeah, so Mammoth is in kind of the central area of California. It's in the monster mountains that make up California. It's one of the biggest resorts in the world. And it also has a really big terrain park following. Terrain parks are ski jumps and rails and different items that you can do freestyle tricks off of. And on the morning of April 29th of 2006, I was down in Mammoth for a coach's retreat. I was coaching for Sugar Bowl Academy at the time, and we had gone down there for a retreat. And first run of the day, I basically went against all the things that I was teaching my kids at the time. And first run of the day, I went 130 feet on a 100-foot jump. I came down from 30 feet on my skis, and the resultant impact into the snow burst fractured my T12 vertebrae into my spine, causing paralysis from the belly button down. I was life flighted on a Cold Blue from Mammoth up to Reno, Nevada, and had emergency surgery to put 2 rods, 16 screws, and 2 plates into my back to stabilize and remove the pressure off my spinal cord and, start this long road to recovery and completely have a life-changing injury that, changed the course of my life. And that's kind of the story of my accident.
So you're laying on the snow there, probably on the bottom of the hill. What came across your mind? Can you tell our viewers, and did you just lay there and think, oh my God, my life is over?
Actually what I did was I I reached into my pocket and I had a cell phone, and there I called the head coach, and kind of what I remember explained to him what happened, where I was, and what was needed. And then unfortunately, I think I either went into some type of shock, maybe I died. Obviously the code blue from Mammoth to Reno is the code the hospital system uses to say that this individual is on the brink of death. But the next thing that happened was an air mask got put on my face, and all these people are around me, and it looked as if they had just watched a puppy get hit by a car, like right in front of them. And I knew right then and there that it was super serious. And my actual next thought actually went to this time when I was a little kid, when I jumped off a building and had landed on my tailbone. And the first thing a teacher said was, "Hey, can you wriggle your toes?" And I remember trying to wiggle my toes right then and there. And unfortunately, I couldn't even tell where my toes were.
Wow. Roy, after your accident, can you describe some of your most challenging things that you had to go through in life?
Identity. I think that's like one of the biggest things. You have this identity of who you were before and who you are now, pre and post accident. That idea of life-changing injury, your life's going to change. And I think, it takes a long time. I mean, 17 years later, I'm still, kind of figuring out who I am post-injury. So I don't think it's something that just like, now we're this. But I think like identity was a really hard thing. One of the hardest things that I think, High Fives, the foundation that I helped started, really helps is gives community after that acute rehab component. One of the biggest struggles that I had, speaking of identity, was like when you're in rehab, everyone around you has the goal of recovering, and everyone there is to support your recovery. And when you leave these walls, which you think during the time, oh my God, I can't wait to leave, I can't wait to leave, I don't want to be in the hospital. But then you realize when you get out in the world that there's very few people that are there that are going through a recovery, that are there to support you. And it makes it really hard that at that time you're also, makes it really tough to, battle the idea of identity. So I think those were two things out of the gate that I was not prepared for, or that I had no role model or no mentor to give me the opportunity to really understand what a life-changing injury truly means behind just the physical aspect of it.
Well, just to let you know, I'm 41 years post-injury, spinal cord C5, C6, complete quad. You're exactly right about the identity. It changes your entire life, and but I've overcome that, and I've done really well for myself. And it seems like you've done really well for yourself. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm totally glad to hear that. Can you tell me what inspired you to start High Fives Foundation?
I think what inspired me was the fact that there was nothing like it. And I knew I was now a part of a really small niche group of individuals, but the individuals were some of the most passionate people before and after life that I wanted to make sure had a platform or a voice or an advocate. And realizing that there wasn't that, I came up with the idea that I wanted to help others like I got help. When I got hurt, the academy that I worked for had set up an umbrella fund underneath their nonprofit that gave me the opportunity to have funds raised for myself that would be used for my recovery. That then hit me that, I got to pay it forward. All these people believe in me. I've got to work hard. I've got to update them. It was a motivational factor that gave me the opportunity to understand what it means to pay it forward. And when High Five started, I had no idea of what I was creating, a movement, a community, an ohana, a physical support system, so many different, avenues. But at the end of the day, what was really created was the opportunity to provide a community that was underserved to feel like maybe someone's serving them right now. And High Fives now, 13, 14 years later, is, nearing 600 individuals that have sustained life-changing injuries that we've provided support to, and many other factors and programs that we do.
That's great. I guess that was my next question: is how many athletes have y'all served? And it's well over 600 athletes or people that can get back into their sport in an adaptive type of way.
Since I kind of already answered that, I want to further one thing that you said there. Athlete is just a term that we use. I never liked the idea of recipient, grantee, awardee. It feels very generalized. And a lot of the folks that we work with that have sustained these life-changing injuries, they either have happened in the outdoor sports, so they had an athletic mindset previous to their injury, or it's individuals that have now sustained a life-changing injury that are saying, wait a second, I have this opportunity, this new perspective on life, this new lens, and they get into adaptive sports. Well, High Fives wants to step in and provide that to them. So anybody with a goal in the adaptive sports world or in the recovery of a life-changing injury is an athlete. Or you could call them an awardee, a grantee, a recipient, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, anybody with a goal is an athlete. And we've served nearly 600 now to date. Over $7 million in funding alone just to them, and just endless positive stories that we've been able to share of these individuals overcoming and getting forward in their life.
That's awesome that you're paying it back and giving back to others. That's an awesome story. Can you tell me a little bit about C.R. Johnson Healing Center?
Yeah, I'm actually sitting in it right now. I'm in the conference room of a 6,000 square foot facility that, when opened, was originally 587 square feet, very small. But over the existence and the expansion of the time, we've been able to create a space that provides no cost, no question, healing to individuals with life-changing injuries, and then also to the community here in Truckee, Tahoe. The community is they pay insurance, whatever, to the individuals, but anybody we serve can come to our facility and get all treatments from one-on-one physical therapy, one-on-one personal training, cold plunge, massage, acupuncture, and a couple other modalities of healing, along with just recently added a mental health suite to also take on the mental side of things as well through a licensed trained therapist. So High Fives is inside of the C.R. Johnson Healing Center, which was named after a close friend that sustained 2 traumatic brain injuries. And unfortunately, the second one took his life. But it was really wild. The day he passed away, he wrote himself a note. And the note said his 5 goals. And his 5th goal was charity work with Roy. So when his parents found the note, the day after he passed away, they got in contact with me. And we've created a lifelong friendship and a lifelong legacy of their son by creating this space that was really, a brainchild of me and him all the way back in 2006, as we were both recovering from similar life-changing injuries, him being a TBI and mine being a spinal cord injury.
You should be very proud of yourself. You've done a lot of great things.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Hey, Ray, I never got to ask you, how did you get hurt, sir?
So I was 16 years old, and I was involved in a car accident, and the guy driving fell asleep at the wheel, and we had just finished a high school football game, and it was an annual ritual for the team to go celebrate at the nearby lake, and we were just coming back, and we had a long day, and unfortunately, I'm the one who had the brunt of it all. So I woke up at St. Paul's Hospital in Dallas in traction, and it's in my book, so you ever get a chance to read it. I know I've sent you a copy of my book called The Life I Didn't Expect, Facing Adversity and Winning. It's a very powerful book. You would really enjoy that.
I actually started your book, and then I left it here at my office previous to the holiday, and I'm not kidding you. I think we got like 30 feet of snow. So I live in Reno. My office is in Truckee. We're about 30 miles apart from each other. And we literally got about 30 feet of snow between the time I opened your book and the time I left for holiday. And I just could not get back here. I'm not even kidding you. So I have it. I'm back here now, as you can see. But yeah, Tahoe is wild. This past week at one time, let's think of this. We got 8 inches of snow in 1 hour.
I don't see how y'all do it up there or down there or to the west, because I was down in Miami for Christmas, and Dallas had their big, I guess, cold freeze that came through. A cold front came in, and I think it was 9 degrees here in Dallas, and I was in 82 degrees and warm weather in Miami. So I kind of missed the 3 or 4 days here. So I was kind of glad that I left.
The 3 days of winter in Dallas. Yeah,
Yes.
it's tough, y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Roy, can you tell me about one of your sports camps that y'all put on?
Yeah, actually, I'll talk about one that we do with an amazing foundation based out of Dallas. It's called Adaptive Training Foundation. They're based up in Carrollton, just north of Dallas. They are a 28,000 square foot facility that provides 9 weeks of personal training for individuals that have sustained life-changing injuries. Originally started veteran specific, but now do everything from first responders to police to military across the gamut. And what's cool is at the end of 9 weeks, they bring the 9 weeks together in culmination with a 1 week, what they call deployment, using a lot of the same tactics that military uses from boot camp then on to a deployment. And unlike deployments in the military, this one has 3 letters that are focused on FUN, fun. And our partnership with them, it's called Military to the Mountains. So every year we select 35 individuals that have sustained, life-changing injuries while serving our country. And we put them through 9 weeks of personal training down in Dallas. And then the class comes either here to the Reno Tahoe area, or one class goes to Granby Ranch, Colorado, which is a little bit outside of the Winter Park area. And what happens during that week is we use the skill sets that they used over the last 9 weeks, from physical, mental, social growth, to culminate and show success by skiing, snowboarding down the mountain. Some of the best things that have happened out of this, and Ray, you might be able to speak to this being a boy from Texas, many of the guys, when they show up, it's the first time they've seen snow. It's the first time they've ever been on snow. And you watch from a lot of perspective of other adaptive programs that a lot of times the individuals that are showing up, they're trying the sport for the first time, but they might not be so much physically, emotionally, socially as ready as this crew. And what happens is, what usually takes a week of progression happens in like 1 day, because they're so just dialed from the 9 weeks. And then the next 4 days of this camp, we're talking about some of the fastest growing skiing and snowboarding, kind of like progression I've ever seen amongst a group of individuals. You also add in the fact that they're military, guys and gals that believe in the idea that, getting to the top of the mountain means success. They don't care how they get down. So it's always a little bit of a wild time as well. But at the end of the week, the 10 weeks culminate. The biggest goal is safety first, and also then, brotherhood, sisterhood, rebonding, recreating, and what we use is a term from Hawaii, ohana, meaning family. It's the family that's not blood. It's the family that you choose. It's just a creation and expansion of that High Fives ohana, and it works for our Military to Mountains program. It's one of our many programs that we use sport as a byproduct of community. Sport is a way to connect people through any way and create community again. And I think that's such a secret sauce of what we do here at High Fives.
So is High Fives just in the USA, or would you consider it to be global?
We use the term North America. We do services in Canada, and then we have served some folks down in Mexico as well. But outside of that, the bylaws, the amount of paperwork, and just, we're still only able to serve 50% of the applicants that are applying from North America. If we get to the point where we have the funds available to serve 100% of our applicants, well, then maybe it does make sense for us to go for a global approach. But until that, I'm gonna make sure that we can serve everybody within what I would call our radar, and then hopefully be able to inspire others in other countries to form or create other organizations that are built around the idea of what High Fives does. It, reconnects people with sport through community after life-changing injuries.
That's awesome. That's just unbelievable story. You're doing a lot of great things, Roy. Can you tell me what drives Roy Tuscany?
For the longest time, I think there was a lot of different, variables that drove me. But now what drives me more than anything is I
I got this little 3-year-old. His name's Gunner. He's like the coolest human in the world. My wife and I are super lucky to have this amazing little boy in our life. And so, what used to be like, how much can I get done and how much can I accomplish? It's now how much can I get done, how much can I get accomplished, but also how can I do it in the most efficient way now so that I don't interrupt these moments with my little dude. And I think that's like my biggest takeaway now. That's my driving force now. I think everybody has a different driving force. But now my driving force right now is just like efficiency, get it done, spend as much time with Gunner as possible.
That's awesome. How do you measure success in life?
I think we could use the Caddyshack line here by height, but that's not actually a true statement. I think success in life is how one can help others create joy. And joy is an emotion. It's something that we get to feel and experience, and it's a euphoric experience when one gets to have that moment, especially if you've had those moments of, have you hit rock bottom? Have you seen the bottom of the valley? Have you not been to the top of the mountain and got to see the great view for a while? So if that opportunity lies within one individual to provide that through a collection of others and provide joy, well, then the more joy that you can spread in the world, well, then that's success. I don't think there's a monetary, it's probably, cheesy to be like, it's a MasterCard commercial, it's priceless. But that really is what joy is. There is no way to buy joy. The richest people in the world, they're not happy. And some of the most joyful people in the world are probably the poorest. So money has nothing to do with it. So I think that's how you measure success is how can you as an individual provide joy to others?
I totally believe that, and also you got to include love in there, man. You got to have love in you, and if you don't have love in you, man, there's no need for us to even survive or be on this planet.
It's really wild. When you operate from your heart and when you operate from your mind. And it's such a different version of yourself. And when you can operate from your heart strategically, it's an absolute, joyful experience that you get to share with others. But when you sometimes get inside your mind too much and you forget to operate from your heart, damn it, do you do dumb things, huh?
Right, exactly. Where do you see Roy and the foundation in 10 years from now?
This like long-term goal that I've had, and I don't know if it's 10 years. I mean, it's probably more longer than that. Maybe it's the legacy that is me that's left after I'm done doing what I've done on this planet. But, I know for a fact that everybody knows that when you see a blue placard, and the blue placard, means you can park in a disabled spot. Well, I would love that same thing for an individual that's participating in adaptive sports. Individuals that, maybe are, let's say, physically not as visible to the eye, the disability. And so maybe there's a way that shield that we've created, the shield for high fives, that maybe one day it could become the universal icon for an adaptive athlete. And, maybe that's the long term. In 10 years, I don't know, man, I'm pretty happy. We do, a little between $4 to $5 million raised per year. We disperse 80% of that through all the different programs that we serve here beyond just our grants and camps programs. And I think from it's a really great, fun place to be. Will we get bigger? Maybe. But, at the end of the day, I think what has happened is we have created the opportunity for not only 600 individuals that would have never gotten a different perspective on recovery, but also this really cool collection of individuals that the foundation employs. And I think, if anything, I'd love to grow the workforce here so that High Fives has the opportunity to not only impact more, but also individuals that work for the foundation to get the impact of doing the philanthropic charitable work and the impact work that High Fives does from an organizational standpoint.
My last question is, can you share one thing to our viewers that we don't know about you?
All right, Ray, I will share something that you don't know. Some people do know this about me, but my lifelong goal is to become a professional auctioneer. I auctioneer for our foundation and a couple other foundations that I'm close with. It's a unique opportunity that I get to do and get to share. And it's kind of my gift to others. I'm no rich man, I can tell you that much. But I am really good at raising money. I'm good at raising money for High Fives and a couple other select charities that I use my auction skills for. And, hopefully one day, maybe I'll get to auction off some cattle or a car, go to the Barrett Jackson and talk really fast there. I don't know, but auctioneering is definitely the one thing that, not many people know, but my true passion in life is to become a professional auctioneer.
Well, Roy, I really appreciate you being on the show, and you've done some great things in your life, and continue the success with High Fives Foundation. And next time I'm ever through California or Reno, I'll make sure to come by Truckee, California.
All right, sir. I look forward to that. Next time in Dallas, which I frequent a lot, I'll make sure to look you up. And like I said, Adaptive Training Foundation, Carrollton, Texas. Look them out. They're incredible. The most incredible recovery stories come out of that facility right there. So I hope you get to check it out in person.
And if anybody wants to reach out to you or to High Fives Foundation, it's highfivefoundation.com.
Yeah, or .org. And we're really active on social media channels as well. So go right there and check us out there too. And what a great opportunity it is to chat with you. And I look to finish your book, 30 Feet of Snow, got it between the first chapter and the end for me.
Well, let me know once you finish reading
it. Sounds good, sir. And it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you so much. Stay warm.
I will, my man.
Amen. I want to thank you for watching and listening to my show. Do not forget to follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and my YouTube channel called Rollin with Ray. Also, if you're looking for a good read, don't hesitate to pick up my book here called The Life I Didn't Expect, Facing Adversity and Winning. The book is on Amazon. And until we see you again, keep on rolling with Ray.